following program contains disturbing materials that may not be suitable for some resellers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, hello. It is a late night for some of you, not so late for me, but was watching TheJoshGalt's live, and for some reason he disconnected. So we thought that we're going to just go on here and kind of continue where he left off and talk about making full-time eBay work. And I know that some of you guys have no intention on being full-timers, maybe just supplementing your income. But I think the equation's still the same. We're trying to do what? Pay our bills, right? I think for many people, it's about paying the bills. And if you get the bills paid, then everything else you make above and beyond that is gravy, right? And so there's so many factors that are involved that don't even really involve your sales. I think we're talking about your cost of living, what people call your nut. And that is your house note, your rent, your car insurance, your groceries, which has gone up, right? You got your electric bill, your water bill, your sewage bill, your trash bill, your gas bill, if you have that set up or not, and everything that goes along with it. And that's the challenge that we have to deal with. And those costs aren't going down any, they're going up. I can recall back in 2019, it was the scariest thing I think we've ever had to do. We went, and we got a guest here with us. We had to go full time. We were already part time, just on a very, very part time basis, buying a pallet here or a little bit there, and we were told with 60-day notice that we're losing our jobs. Both of us worked at the same location, and we're in California trying to make this work. So as soon as we lost our jobs, we got our little severance package, and we started buying. We went out to Ross and Marshall's and Burlington Coat Factory, buying stuff because we saw it on YouTube. So proud of ourselves, and get it all listed to find out that wasn't working. And what I was going to put in the title is a little bit of luck and hard work, because that's kind of what it was. I got lucky. Came across this website called liquidation.com. Found for $5,000, found a $30,000 MSRP lot of nothing but Nintendo Switch games, accessories, and that was like gold to me. That was like an eye opener. And had that gone wrong, or had that initial purchase gone bad, I would have gone away from that and probably done the yard sale thing, the thrift store thing, and I would not have continued to buy from that company. And I would have not found the $25,000 months that I had in March of April of 2019, finding other liquidation sites and really expanding there and only buying liquidation pallets, really getting a lot of experience, learning from bad buys, what not to buy. And through that luck, that initial luck and hard work and perseverance, making that work. And then my only downfall from 2019 to 2022 really was the lack of quality. A lot of cherry picking going on in liquidation, cherry picking and finding that, hey, all the good stuff is gone. We got the average stuff, but all the good stuff that was really paying the bills wasn't there. And I found myself in 2022 starting to drive for Uber because it wasn't working, and my determination was not to go back to a 9-to-5 and work for someone again. I did that for 26 years of my life. So we did the Uber thing for a few months, from October to I'd say the end of January. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to try this one place. I've been avoiding it. I didn't like what I saw the first couple of years. Archie turned me on to it, but I wasn't really feeling it. Tried it out, and guess what? Haven't looked back since, and really made reselling work. And look who tuned in. We got Beard, and we have Josh. Now, look, I think with reselling, we get comfortable. We get comfortable in what we're doing. I was comfortable in liquidation. I didn't want to go and buy individual liquidation pieces. I didn't want to go to yard sales because I never had a really good track record or experience with it. But I had to open myself to all these things to get better and to make changes. And, I think sometimes, and I think I'm going to be saying this over the weekend, but Sometimes some of us would rather be more comfortable than successful. What do you guys think?
Do I have echo right now? Is it like the reverb, or can you hear me okay? Everything's good?
You sound better this afternoon.
You guys are the best. Thank you.
Yeah. Didn't we already do this today once?
We did this
once.
So. But let's not talk about the same stuff we talked about on the podcast.
No, there's something to what you said, John, because I spent 25 years in fast food restaurants and working for somebody else, no life, 60, 70, 80 hours a week. I miss a lot of my son's early years. And I think that puts a lot of drive and determination in a lot of people to go, you know what? I'm not going back to a 9 to 5. I'm not. Now mine was 4:30 to whenever. I did everything in a restaurant you can do, from opening person to district manager. I've done it all. And
the drive, man, the drive. If you live in Toronto, LA, Miami, well, I don't know about Miami, but New York, I don't want to drive 3 hours into the city. I'm done with that. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, well, I could always go back to the city. Never. It's sooner die. No.
You said you work 4:30 p.m. for many years because I wanted to be in a certain department. I was at the call center. I worked at the customer service department. We called it the rate desk. It's the escalations team where you have a bad upset customer, or something that's maybe a little bit too much for a frontline rep. They send you to our department. I really enjoyed what I was doing there. I didn't want to make reservations. So with my seniority, of course, you had to pass a test to be qualified for it. But once I did that, my only seniority allowed me to do 6 p.m. to 2:30 in the morning with Tuesday, Wednesday off. What kind of time do you think I had to spend with my kids? Now, of course, the pay was better than just a frontline rep, and it helped me really advance in that company while I was there. But you miss out a lot of things. You miss out a lot of, there's a lot of people watching right now or watching after this on the replay that can relate to, doing the 9 to 5 and missing out on a lot of things with their kids.
Never mind. 9 to 5 is over. It's 5 to 9 now. Most people got to do 5 to 9 to make it work.
Right. Well, 4 hours, you mean? Or you're talking 16 hours?
4 hours. It doesn't even that barely gets you coffee these days.
No, I mean,
yeah, it's insane what's happening. So I think if you look at people, a lot of like same common denominator of just not, that not wanting to go back, and others, through the middle of this, reselling allowed me to spend, take 5 months with Joni while she fought breast cancer, and now of course she's taking an unfortunate fall, and I'm able to push her around in a wheelchair. 2 doctor's appointments a day, no problem. I devised a way to do my work in the dang waiting room of the doctor's office, because you are too many people are excuses, man. They come up with excuse after excuse that if something's not working, it's your job to fix it. I don't think people want that. They've never been in management. They've never had responsibility. They don't understand. They've never owned a business, and they're not willing to take, you're the problem solver, folks. You're not waiting for the boss to come and say, hey, we're a little low on this day. I'm gonna need you to do this. That's your job now.
The classic way is you find an area that that you enjoy or something about, and you pour your heart and soul into it, and you build a business. And unfortunately, like especially when it comes to online selling, there's lots of stuff we can't control. We can't even control when or where or if our items get shown to a customer. So, unfortunately or fortunately, it's incumbent upon us to do whatever we have to do to make it work. And
so what's your secret to making that work? Despite all the roadblocks that eBay is throwing out, let's just say eBay is throwing out, you could say the economy is throwing out, you could say add whatever factor you want into the mix. How do you keep going? Because there's a lot of people that are having a hard time with that.
Well, for me, if you're asking me personally, it was having my back against the wall where I had bills to pay and mouths to feed. And, no matter what I was doing in one area, it wasn't working. It didn't matter what I put up, what I could find. And I got kind of desperate. And so I had all this stuff, and I was like, I'm just going to put it on Facebook Marketplace and see if I can garage sale it. So I started a Facebook Marketplace post where I was like, look, 7 a.m. Saturday morning, I have a storage locker. I'm an online reseller, and I want to get rid of this stuff. And I was like, I hope enough people show up that I get like $300 out of it. And it was like lined up out the gate and down the road. And I was like, okay, there's something here. I can do this more often. And that was kind of what started it for me. But where it really began was I just, I was not making the money with online sales and I needed something else. So I tried something else out of desperation and it worked. So I pushed that a little bit harder.
What about you, Beard? How do you make it work? You had to make a big change with with what happened with Joni. You had to make a big adjustment from really working the system, getting product to send into Amazon, making the most of your sales through Amazon, to now you're closer to home, selling on eBay mostly now. So how do you make that work? How do you make full-time work for yourself?
You got to understand the platforms, understand what's going on in markets, and understand nobody wants to pay attention to trends. I used to do the spring and summer updates, and only to look at them to go, you know what, this is where the platform is going. This is the direction I want to go. I want to know because I want to get ahead of everybody else. And so you constantly look at the platforms. And so, right now, and look at the economy and look at the things and make decisions, just good decisions. I think parts are it. I think parts are going to be a way of the future because stuff is going to get really expensive. And I tried sneaking out here to the other door, but Phoebe followed me.
I was listing a bunch of parts the other day for like old motorcycles and old cars and stuff. Yeah. Even the prices on that stuff has come down. I listed some Camaro parts, or they're in my drafts anyway. And I remember selling those exact parts for like $49, $59, $69, and they're down to $14.99, $12.99, same parts. So even the parts market is down a bit.
But I think the parts market is just temporary. I think that's just people unloading. I think that's a quick rebound because there's, and I think there are certain things that it's a limited supply of. It's not like a lot of the parts that I'm selling out of kitchen stuff and the stuff that I plan to do even lots more of. These models aren't made anymore, and people will want. Do you replace a part of your older machine, or do you buy the new? It's like freaking cell phones right now. How are they going to sell these iPhone 16s that are coming out? And they're going to announce them next Friday or next Tuesday, whatever it is, 9th.
FOMO will sell the iPhones.
It doesn't do hardly anything different than the 15. The 15 is going to do everything the 16 will do. There'll be a little, but they're asking.
Guys, go to look at the 2025 trucks, like the Dodge Rams and the 1500s, the GMC 1500s. They're like $129,000. So what are they thinking? And then you got to pay $800 a month insurance on that. It's wild. So what? $2,000 a month in car payments? That's a mortgage.
Yeah, it is. You can live in your car, I guess, right?
So I think that's another thing that to make it full-time reselling, you've got to trim the fat. That's the one thing we've done. I've got there's 4 cars in the driveway. All the 4 cars, there's 1 payment left on the 4 cars. 1. Next month the Acura is paid off, and that's all the car payments. You've got to you get to my age and you go, man, I need to get from point A to point B. I'm not driving like Josh with overheating and all that, and the headers out. But the van's got 241,000 miles, and next Friday I'm gonna drive it to South Carolina, 8-9 hours.
Josh to Sanford and Son.
Seriously, we're in the fortunate position, I guess, of age though. So, in your late 40s or 50s or whatever, you've got most of the mortgage behind you, probably most of the car payments behind you. Kids are up and out or whatever the case may be, but if you're in your 20s and you want to start a business, your whole life is ahead of you. So it'd be difficult to say, or even in your 30s, like, hey, I am okay. Like, what's wrong with you when you've got to get married and kids and cars and, maybe there's still education and loans and house and all this other stuff. Like, it's a whole new world.
You make different decisions, Josh. So a couple of years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we refinanced a house in the middle of down to 2.1% and cut off 12 years of the mortgage. My whole goal was to 65 years old to be no house payments, no any payments. I'm 10 years away from that. You know, things in life become, you see things that as stuff, and stuff is not as important to you. So you learn to live with less. You understand, folks. It's going to get tough out there in the next 6 to 8 months. You're going to learn why grandma used to wash aluminum foil. That's an old saying that I think we're not. I don't think we're at the bottom yet. I don't think we've hit the bottom.
I don't think so either. And so we talk about not getting sales, right? Well, what's the opposite side of that coin? Cut your expenses. You know, maybe it's.
But I will say this too, as someone with small kids still, even cutting your expenses, a lot of people, and I see it in the chat, not right now, but in previous chats, where they've been cutting, driving cars that are falling apart, not fixing things on the house that need to get done in anticipation of things turning around, and it doesn't turn around, but those costs still are out there. So, I mean, I think people have trimmed down to like the bare skeletal bones, and now things absolutely have to get done, and that's where the pinch and the pain is, where you need a new furnace or you need a new roof or your driveway is like cracked and falling apart and it needs to be replaced. Like that's where people are feeling it right now.
Yeah, we pushed our air conditioner off one more year. So I don't know how many of y'all know, but our air conditioner, the heat died on that unit 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it is, and we've just been limping it through. It'll run air, so we live in Alabama, and it's right now the inside the house is like 69. But if you turn the heat on, it vaporizes all the freon. The freon leaks out of the whole. But as a liquid, it's not big enough to leak out of the coils. But as a gas, it will. And so, in order to not ever have that happen, the wires are off the heater. You can't turn the heater on. So we get by with space heaters, and so, I mean it's fine. It doesn't get cold much in Alabama. Maybe a couple weeks a year, but you do make decisions that are, we're looking. We're putting, now that the car's going to be paid off, I'm putting that money into savings, and we're going to pay cash for an air unit next summer. But we've only got what 6 weeks left of summer, and then it'll make it.
Well, touching on something you said earlier, and I have this stupid wheel in my hand. Parts. Where else online can you go and find a wheel for a lawnmower? Let's say you broke your lawnmower. Where can you go find a wheel for it? That's all you need, and you're back in business. I don't know of any other site other than eBay where you can find random parts.
Amazon, Walmart.
Not really Amazon. You really can't find it on Amazon. Not when it comes to random parts.
Parts are hard to find on Amazon. You can buy in some parts, but like a generic wheel, but not their original wheel, it'd be harder to find.
And back in 2021, was it 2020, 2021, we bought this large pallet of Roombas. We thought we struck gold, right? All the boxes were on the pallet. It was manifested. We got it home. We cracked open the boxes, and you had people who, I guess, bought these things from Amazon, pulled the bins or pulled the something from the unit, took the charger, and it's like, these aren't incomplete units. We were freaking out. I was quite upset, but we learned that, well, through some research, we can take all the components apart and make money. We doubled 2-3x our money when we thought we were going to take a huge loss. So that's what opened my eyes to parts. And now I don't get so worried if I get a bad pallet, right? Some people just throw stuff out. They don't want to bother with it, but you're throwing money away when you do that. And I think there's a lot of people that can benefit out there. Maybe they're buying something at a yard sale. They find that they bring it home and it doesn't work. They lost $10, but did you? You can take like a coffee maker. You take the carafe and resell it. You can take the filter mechanism and resell it. There's so much you can do, but you got to maybe be looking for, ways to sell your item, parts and repair.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely, and people should be doing those sorts of things rather than throwing the baby out with the bath water. If it's a broken thing, then take the parts off and sell it. But, like big picture, if you make $400 a week profit, let's say, that's just groceries. That's it. That's all that covers. If you have 2 or 3 kids, that's only groceries, $400 a week. Let alone like car payments, insurance, mortgage payments, repairs, gasoline, electricity, gas, like natural gas, water, all this other stuff, like property taxes. So, I just noticed for me personally, and I can't speak for anyone else, but I've been putting my foot on the gas with eBay. I've really been putting a lot of better items up, and I'm not getting growth. But I notice that my bills keep going up no matter what I do. So,
But I tell you, it makes it pay attention to people that you think a lot of, and it's on YouTube. Um, so just listening to John talk and seeing that we sell some similar. I'm gonna part more kitchen stuff out. John's sitting there saying, "Man, I sold the board on this dang Roomba robot, whatever it was, for good money." I'm like, why am I throwing the guts of the coffee makers away? I should be pulling that off too, because there's parts in there that the boards and displays and stuff that I should be. It's you. I don't think people, they want to hear you complain about eBay. They don't want to listen to what you do. You're not, when the shows like the three of us do, we're going to talk about topics. We're going to talk about but it's up to you to listen to what somebody says and apply it to your business. Because you can't copy what Josh does, because you don't know the people he does who he's made relationships with. But you can look at a coffee maker the same as me and go, you know what? John said the computer boards are worth something. I wonder what the computer board in this coffee machine's worth, because they've all got them.
Well, not only that, but there's many people who sell refurbished eBay refurbished. I mean, you're a member of the program, Beard. I am. I've never used it yet. But where do you think these people are getting their parts to refurbish these machines? They're probably buying either old parts or repair units and hoping that they can get the guts out of there. Or if you have a dedicated part that they can use, maybe you're selling it for $70, they can flip that machine for $300 or $400. Once that's fixed, they're willing to buy that from you, and it's a win-win. I just think that you got to get creative when things aren't going as well as you want them to. You got to look for other ways to make this eBay thing work. And I'm a big believer in just, whether it's parting something out or finding another supplier or way to pick up merchandise, there's a way out. There's a way to do it.
I agree. I might be like a little bit of an outlier here, but I think even, an extra $100 at the end of the month, it's not, making a huge difference. I think unless these sales for people in general on eBay specifically really start ramping up, they're going to go elsewhere, and they're going to seek other places to kind of pay the bills.
We talked about it, Josh, was a couple weeks ago, and you need to be happy and understand what your goals are for your online sales business, because not everybody, I don't have the drive and desire to start any other businesses. I'm the oldest one up here. My grandparents ran a flea market until they were 83 years old. I love reselling. I love finding stuff. My house is paid off at 65 and we have little or no bills. I'm still going to sell and carry on because it's what I love to do. I love to go digging through somebody's yard sale and just stay. And so I'm perfectly happy with creating myself a job and paying the bills and putting money away and being able to do those kind of things. To me, people feel the pressure of they've got to be the next, Peter Thiel or somebody. eBay's not good enough, or online sales are not good enough. I've got to build this into some monster business.
Yeah, well, there's that certainly too. But again, like, you got to put it in perspective. Your kids are older, and it might be a little bit further down the line with payments and stuff. But that doesn't translate to someone who's 30 years old and 3 kids and mortgage and everything else. So I've come on here saying that I think that building a business on eBay is very possible, and you can grow to 7 figures, and that may still be possible, but for me, that's kind of a fleeting possibility. And if I want that kind of growth, I got to go elsewhere. And listen, I'm not living a life of opulence. I'm not living, my life has not, as far as finances are concerned, it hasn't like improved 5x as to what it was when I was working in my career. But, the bills just keep rising, especially if you have young ones.
Yeah, but I would also, that's 30-year-old. I would not tell them to start a full-time reselling. Somebody in my position or a retiree or doing the other things, it's much easier to, because without the financial commitments. But Amazon Selling 99 says in the chat, tough that depend on one site. I think, I'm pissed off at Amazon, and I think they've done me wrong lately. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to still keep selling. I'm just not going to make it my full focus. And
No, it's not mine either.
And people are scary. We talked about it today. People are scared of something new. You got to try. You got to remember, you were new on eBay once. Most eBay sellers, you weren't born going. When you came out of the crib and you're laying in the hospital, you're going. You know what? You knew everything about selling on eBay. You didn't have a clue. You got to learn other. You got to learn other platforms. Stop being. This is your challenge. Stop being scared. If you see other people having success, stop with the excuses and go after what you. I think a lot of it is about desire. People say they want something, but how bad do they want it?
Well, they don't want to work as hard as they work at their old 9 to 5, right? Becomes more difficult. They want to pull the ripcord and go back to work for somebody else. And some people only are wired to work for someone else. I don't feel like I am at all. Huh?
There's nothing wrong with that either.
No. Nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, this is the way society has brought Gen X. I'm Gen X. This is the way we were brought up. We were brought up to be conditioned to work for someone else. Rarely did you ever hear coming up in high school that, hey, you need to take this course so that you can build a business. You never heard that.
That was no. You're trying to figure out how to make dinner or breakfast or whatever because we were latchkey kids. My parents were divorced when I was 8. My dad was at work before we got on the bus. We put ourselves on the bus. He wasn't there when we got home. So you're trying to figure out how to operate a microwave at 9 years old.
We were outed on your live, Josh.
Oh yeah, we're shielded.
They had said that does Josh, Scott, and John work for eBay? Are we employed by eBay? Are we getting paid by eBay?
I wish they were paying me.
But they are paying us. We are selling our items on their site, and they take their little cut out of it, and we get paid.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're consigners. That's what we are. We're consignment employees on eBay.
So, what's your outlook for Q4? I mean, realistically, we talk about how things seem like they're only going to get worse before they get better. I've been saying that for a while. What's your outlook for Q4? Considering, like, I read a report that retail is going to be really hitting the discounts hard for like Black Friday and Q4. So what do you think? How does that translate over to us resellers on eBay and your own business?
I think a strong Q4 for Amazon, strong Q4 for Whatnot, weak Q4 for eBay, strong Q4 for Walmart.
I think the downward pressure on prices is going to continue, and I think the ones that can deliver items at a price that is attractive to, because I think Black Friday is going to be like a Black 6 weeks. I don't think, I think that whole entire period they're going to go, you know what, they're going to run. I mean, we normally see lots of sales through there, and also it's hard to predict too, because I think a lot of it depends on what happens on, was it November 6th? Because you're going to see one side fighting the other no matter what. You're going to see optimism in the market one way or the other. I think a lot of it depends on right there in the middle. Going into Q4, the first week of November, you'll know, because the stock market's going to go up or down incredibly based on what they see.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that people are going to be looking at eBay for lower priced. Maybe this is the year where it's acceptable to give a like new item, not quite new. Maybe it's not in the package, or maybe the package is jacked up a little bit for Christmas. That's what I'm thinking. I think that's gonna be a thing.
I think that most people under the age of 50 aren't even confident that eBay exists still. I don't even think they know about it. Like, if you look at the buyer metrics right now, the buyer metrics are in around like 60, 65. Like, it's a lot of people that are, our age or older. So, and they've said it themselves. There's no push to bring new buyers to the site. They're looking to generate more revenues from their existing users, which are the sellers. So I don't expect, if they don't expect stronger buyer growth, then I'm not going to expect it either. That's how I feel with eBay.
Well, check
That's
this
not
out.
a knock on them. That's what they're looking at.
Well, we were talking about this earlier, and I pulled this up. It's hard for you guys to see. I apologize, but this is Google Trends, and this is just the eBay search term since 2004 to present, right? So we're talking 20 years of data. And look at this. 2004 January, all the way up to 2006, eBay scored a 99 out of 100 in Google Trends data. I guess that this chart pretty much is the popularity of a site through Google search terms, correct? Is that right, Josh?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it means, but I would just say like search saturation on a scale of 100. So
Yeah.
I mean, even if we don't know exactly what the y-axis is depicting, certainly you can draw a correlation between what is happening over the course of the x-axis as time goes on.
Right. So somebody's utilizing eBay and search, and look how popular eBay was. We're getting into 2010. It's still above 75. We're into 2013. It peaks out at 2013 at 96%. That's sort of the last high mark. And then after that, it's all downhill. 2015, 2016, 2017, all the way. Look, we're now at around 24 out of 100 score, when eBay 11 years ago used to be close to 100. And that should be alarming to the folks at eBay that they need to improve market share. I mean, I get it. It's going down a little bit because you have like Etsy, Mercari, Poshmark, all these other sites that have come on board that people have gravitated to. But I would expect to see it at least still over 50 out of 100 with that in mind. What do you guys think about that?
Most people I talk to in my age group are younger. They don't shop on eBay. They don't know about eBay. I mean, how would they? There's really no advertising unless you've been on eBay in the 90s and early 2000s and mid 2000s. You wouldn't even know about it. How would you find out about it? There's nothing telling you that it even exists.
So there was an interesting thing. So one of the guys I used to do a lot of shows and stuff with, his name was Shane. One of his buddies was a college professor and wanted him to come back and talk about to two classes, talk about, the online reselling and, the kind of they got and markets and that kind of stuff. And he started off by asking them how many people knew eBay, and there was like 4 people in each of the 2 sessions. 4. These are college kids, and there was less than 10 out of a couple hundred that even knew what eBay was.
Yeah, so then you got to go from not knowing what eBay even is to know about eBay, to set up payments and everything else, and then trust the fact that you're going to buy something on there, it's going to get shipped to you. And I just don't see that really, anyone really younger than us it's just not a place they go to. And we had a good captured audience during the pandemic, but even then, I mean, if you were selling on Amazon, you were just crushing it in comparison. The number of people were pulling down versus eBay was wild.
We sold a lot. That's why he didn't see a lot of videos. We sold from 2020 to 2022. We sold a lot. Anything, man, it was insane what sold over there.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Well, I'm not bagging on. I don't want to bag on eBay and be like, oh, it sucks or anything. I don't feel that way. You have to look at the numbers. You have to see that the pie is shrinking, smaller and smaller, and you have more. Well, I don't even know if you have more sellers or not, but even if the pie is shrinking, you have sellers competing for market share in a shrinking pie, and it is what it is. So.
But that's why some people I have gravitated to Whatnot, because they were having difficulties really making it work on eBay, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you have the only problem that some people are going to have with making Whatnot work over eBay is coming across enough merchandise. I think you had talked about it. There's a couple YouTubers that have made the jump, and their biggest problem, they're making money, but they just are having a hard time coming across enough merchandise to continually, flip it.
So my question to you guys is, who are the YouTubers that are crushing it on eBay, that are the big eBay YouTubers?
I don't watch a lot of YouTube lately anyway, and I really don't.
Of the YouTubers you know. Of the YouTubers you know.
I don't talk to anybody but
Of
locally.
any YouTuber you can think of.
TheJoshGalt.
Any YouTuber you can think of. Like,
I feel like I'm crushing it for what I feel like I'm crushing it for what I need. And a lot of people take that as a brag. I brag. And I'm not, guys. I'm a living example of how you can get lucky but work hard and make this work.
Outside of us,
I don't follow a lot of YouTubers. See, that's just it. I don't.
I feel like I know them all because I list all day and I just let the videos run through, and I watch and whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's doing really well, or this girl's doing really well.
J-Ride put a video. J-Ride put a video live today saying you can make $1,000 a day net on eBay.
No, but I mean, honestly, like, in someone where you can look at their solds and confirm it, but a lot of them are selling on Whatnot or Amazon.
I was about to say that Lance White's first one is Bo Johnson. Bo Johnson is doing so well on eBay that he's now selling on Whatnot twice a day.
He's on Whatnot. I don't want to say all the names, but I just keep going through it. I'm like, they're all on Whatnot, or they're on Amazon, or they're doing something else, or they're selling eBay courses. But I don't know anyone who's just like 100% eBay anymore, and they're absolutely killing it. I don't see anybody really.
But someone like, okay, Tommy said Pete, right? Pete's an example, but he has a huge presence not only on his YouTube channel, like 300,000+ subscribers, but he also has that brick and mortar where people come in and
making money in the brick and mortar, and he's also making money on YouTube. And that's not all he's got going on. He's got a handful of other things. He's not just YouTube.
Right.
Right.
But here's one right here. Tommy Bernard. Tommy Bernard's an example. He's tearing it up. I'm sure he's still doing well. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm speaking for him, but I know every conversation I've had with Tommy, he has a production set up, and he knows his stuff, has good suppliers, and I think he's probably one that you could say is doing well.
I'm not bagging on anyone or like trying to put negativity out there, but you've seen a massive shift towards other venues, and I think that was a forced move. They're not doing that because it's fun or easy. They're looking for opportunities, and they're early adopters.
I agree.
Well,
Bo Johnson's doing $50,000 a month on Whatnot. Lance.
What percentage of resellers with zero YouTube presence, don't even watch YouTube, are doing well on eBay? I'm sure there's a lot that there's a lot.
Like, you don't know unless you try. You might as well give it a shot and see.
Yeah, I look at so many stores, because when I do some sourcing and I'm looking up an item to see what it's worth, I'll see a store and I'm like, okay, well, this guy has similar stuff to what I have. I start looking a little bit further to see, wow, they're selling 1,000 items within a 90-day period, right? At probably an ASP close to mine, they're doing better than I am. There's sales out there.
Yeah. Tommy's doing cars.
Yeah, he's been flipping. So the one thing I would tell you too is it's hard to judge a YouTube seller, a YouTube eBayer, because you don't know how much of their business is derived from their YouTube content, and because so much of it is bought in order to get view. You buy these items or you tell about these items because you're trying to get views, and it supplements their reselling business. So it might look like you could go on and make videos about buy this, buy that. These are selling great, and people would think, oh, this guy's really got it together, and go look at their account and go, wait a minute, they don't sell shit.
I can't blame them though. I mean, if they want to put out their stuff on their channel, I mean, if it helps them and their bottom line, I mean, more power to them, I guess, right? There's people that are still going to watch it. I don't sell anything on my channel. I don't get half the views that a lot of these channels get. So
Pete's here right now. If I could ask Pete one question, it would be this: Is it worse now than what it's ever been? is this the normal, or are we in a slow period? You know, he's someone who's been around long enough, and he's seen the ups and downs. He told us about ups and downs, and I'd really like his, you know, if I could talk to him. I guess I could call him really, but just, you know, is it worse? Is it the way it should be right now, or is it just a little bit bad?
Well,
Because there's no
there's
baseline.
there's a link in the chat, Pete, if you want to come and join us. You're always welcome to join us, but you can either blink twice for yes, or blink once for no.
He's having wife time right now.
Oh, okay.
He's at home.
Well, if you want to sneak away and, you know, join us in the conversation, probably gonna go for like another 20 minutes.
But look at some. I only watch a few YouTubers, and I think the work is there. The things have changed, and you have to do things that are different. You look. I like to use Primo as an example. It took a lot of guts for him to come in and say how bad was it bad as May or June was. It was awful, down like
they roasted him for 70,
that, and they crushed. And he's like, you know what? I won't see y'all in June. I'll be back in July, whatever month he took off. And he took the time. He and Spam took the time to break that down into 3 stores, because, you know, he finally under accepted the fact that eBay is sell-through dominant, and wanted to divide it up into 3 stores so that his slow tail items that are worth really good money would still sell when they sell, but it wouldn't drag the rest of his stores down. And now if you watch and listen to him, he goes, man, our sales are coming back. It's taking a lot of work. We're working harder because it's harder to run 3 stores than it is 1, but we're making it. We're making it work. We're making our own way. How many people are willing to do that? How many people are willing to look at it, go, tear it to the ground and build it back up, because you know things have changed?
I would only caution I would put out there in regards to that is that James and Bridget are sitting on like $100,000 or $150,000 of inventory. And they were saying for quite a long time, like, this stuff is staring us in the face. It's worth a lot of money. It's stuff we bought in the 90s. It might even be worth more than that. We just got to put it up. So in his situation, I think he was, and sorry, James, I'm speaking for you, but I think they were just like, we need to get on track and focus. We've got great stuff here. We just got to put this stuff up. I think a lot of people, you know, maybe don't have computer parts from like the 70s and 80s that's worth a ton of monty, or debt piles like that.
No, a lot of people are like me. This building is full of unlisted inventory. I've got 2 storage buildings full of unlisted inventory. I never stop buying. Hell, I bought stuff today. If I think about it, I'll go to estate sales tomorrow and buy stuff, because damn it. It's a matter of the stuff is out there, and if you buy right, like he's done, and like I try to do, it doesn't go bad. You don't lose value.
I still have a pallet in my car. I haven't unloaded into my garage yet, and I plan on doing that after we're done here. But it's going to be a challenge to get that in this garage to where I can actually get through and do my work. With another pallet coming on Tuesday and about 20 more items coming on Friday.
Oh, crap.
So, yeah.
I was thinking I had enough inventory till the end of October, but I'm already starting to run low on it. I was kind of surprised. I guess I overguessed how much is there. So probably by early September, it'll be time to buy some more. Okay, here, Craigslist Hunter. It's not good, and it's not like 10 years ago. I pivot all the time, but I still manage to do about 50,000 a month, but it's not easy. Yeah. So I'll like summarize that and say, you know, it's not as good as it used to be, but I'm making it work.
I'm wondering though, Craigslist, Pete, I'm wondering, how is your brick and mortar? How are the sales as compared to even last year? Is it the same, less, more?
I think he said 70-30 to us. It was 70-30.
No, but I'm just saying that has he noticed a huge drop off in sales?
Oh. Yeah. So I watch his videos. I don't always comment because sometimes I watch them in bed. But one thing he was saying, Pete, again, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm speaking for you, but he was saying that a lot of customers coming in like kind of desperate and selling things that they wouldn't normally sell. So he's seen a lot of that come through. And I do recall him saying also that he's got a big blacklist of things that he just doesn't pick up anymore because they used to sell, but they don't anymore. So he's like told his employees, don't bring that stuff in anymore. I don't want it.
I'm seeing a lot of that myself with some of the items and I talk about that on this Saturday's podcast. But there's some things that I'm going to back off on that I look for. Up until now, I've been looking for them exclusively, and I'm not interested in just stocking up on stuff. Forget what it did a year ago. It's all about what it's doing now, and you gotta be willing to make adjustments. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. They're so sold in this idea that back in 2020, 21, 22, maybe even last year, that it sold for this amount or it sold well, but the markets change all the time. And I think what a lot of us are seeing is market change right in front of our eyes. And those who are going to do well are going to make the right adjustments. The ones that are going to, have to quit or take a huge hit are the ones that just refuse to adjust.
Yeah, and Josh got live before this one, and I think it was Grumpy Granny that said that, just a couple of years ago, everybody would tell you to niche down, really no one. And now you can't do that because if you're not spread out enough to where because if you're not in the exact right niche, you could get to where you don't sell anything. It's much harder to be a niche seller on eBay right now because of the way the supposed spotlight kind of shows on you. I mean, I'm like Josh is today. I had to sell this afternoon, and it's been like 7 hours of crickets. And I've got stuff up, and I've sent offers out, very aggressive pricing, and I sell a lot of new stuff and stuff that's in stores that's hard to find that will sell, but it's just crickets.
I remember like sealed CDs, for example, $20 all in, you could move that stuff because it's hard to find. That stuff's going for $3 now, $4. It's not, I don't want to be involved in that anymore. So if I were a CD seller, I'd be dead now. I can't compete in that market. Some people can.
I guess the question is this the time to sit on merchandise waiting for your price, or do you need to just move on from it?
Well, I mean, it all depends. So I don't know what people have in. Like, I can't give advice on that.
I'm just saying for you, TheJoshGalt, the stuff that you're sitting on that you could sell for $3 quite easily.
I don't know. I got to be honest, John. I don't understand the market anymore. I don't know what the heck is going on. The best example I can give are like the hats again, where I had the hats up for $19.99, 100 of them. They normally sell for good money, and none of them sold. So I put them all down for $3.99, and nothing sold. So I put them all back up to $19.99, and then they started selling. I don't understand the market. Why would it not sell at $4, but then it sells at 20, but it didn't sell at 20 before? So I don't understand the market enough to, I look at what the pricing is. I try and price in that range. If I have stale stuff that's not priced properly, it's paid for. And I'm right now, I don't even care. I redid my inventory. I lowered prices. It gave me a little bit of a boost, and then it all died again. So, to play whack-a-mole with all the pricing, I just not feeling it.
Lance, same thing happened to me, man. I've got an old account. I've not been gated in much of anything, and I've been able to sell. And I follow the rules. I don't have account helps 100%. I don't have any issues. Every now and then one will pop up, but I take care of it. And 3 months ago, out of the blue, my FBM inventory, I'm like, why am I not selling anything today? Like 1,200 items were taken down, just deleted. And I go to start putting this stuff back up thinking, what the hell's happened? No emails, no warning, no nothing. And I'm restricted on everything. It's if I scan 10 things, I'm restricted on probably 70% of the things that I look up. And, I've got an account where I've never been restricted hardly on anything. And Amazon has been very frustrating to me. And as bad as eBay is, the fickleness of Amazon it's hard to deal with too. They get a pass, but they are so fucking crooked.
But the thing I will say about Amazon, even though that certainly does happen, but you have things like, the barcode scanning and the Keepa thing. That's a whole life of its own that I see people doing. And if you hit a good one and you can get in quantity, that stuff's going to move really quick. So people will put up with that because the stuff's moving. But you can put that you can put that same item with the same barcode on eBay at a lower price. You might sell 3 in a day and then sit on the rest for a month and then sell 2. Like it does not have the same product velocity as what it does on Amazon.
Well, you know, whether you're selling on eBay, Amazon, I mean, each site has its challenges. Got a question, and I had put it up here. I'll try to find it again, but there's 28,000 viewers right now watching Whatnot. Just the fact, is that good or bad? And I would say that would be good for a Whatnot seller, of course, but not so good for maybe an eBay seller or a seller on one of these other sites, because that's eyes that are looking somewhere else.
Good to see you, Pat. I saw your video that you did on Philly Flipper. I thought that was really well done, and also very very class act way of presenting that. So I'm glad you weighed in on that. That was a really good video. Yeah, I would say that because there are so few sellers on Whatnot, that's a good ratio. 28,000 viewers plus however many live auctions are going on right now at this minute. What is that, like probably 15 or so? That's amazing. 20, 30, 50, I don't know what it is. So it's a good ratio. I think it's like flipped on eBay where you have probably, I don't know how many eyes are on eBay right now. Let's say 250,000, but there are like 1 billion or 2 billion items available.
Archie, why do you? So Archie says Whatnot is just resellers recycling each other's money. Why do you care where the money comes from? If you're moving items, you're moving items.
Get it out of there, man.
Well, and here's Whatnot over the past 5 years. Of course, they didn't come onto the scene until 2021, early 2022, and check them out. They're going the opposite direction as eBay is. This is on Google Trends, and as of I guess this takes you to right now, they're closer to 100 on the score of 0 to 100 on search. So they're very popular. That to me tells me everything I need to know about why there's 28,000 viewers right now.
I'm tired of people talking about too. Oh, you've got to have a social media following. Most people, you go over there and look, most of them don't have. Will it help you get started? Yes, but if you're selling good items and you've got a freaking personality, can talk to people, and keep them engaged with you. I mean, it's have good items, talk about your items, be kind to people, acknowledge them coming in. This is stuff that, do unto others as you have them doing. If you treat people kindly and put up good items, and over a period of time, you'll build over there just like you've built on eBay. It's a process, and so many people quit before they start.
Yeah, and like Craigslist Hunter Pete says that his eBay sales are down 15 to 20%, but his shop sales are actually up by 20%. So, I mean, this is not a good sign for eBay in general. I mean, between obviously the Google Trends is showing that eBay is on the decline. Huge sellers like Pete are saying that his sales are down. It really makes me start to worry about the platform itself. If they're just taking the wrong course of action, they're not doing anything to promote their brand, and that's no good. I mean, Whatnot's taking their market share.
For everybody watching, again, we're not dogging on eBay. By any stretch of the imagination, we're all in the six figures area. So, and we're speaking from the point of view of not being ungrateful or anything. It's just we're running businesses and we have people dependent on us, and we're kind of like, hey, let's kind of suss this out. What's going on here? Because I don't know. I know less now than I ever have. This entire eBay journey, I know less now. I'm less confident of everything. My purchases, what the platform's doing, what the future holds, all of it. I don't know.
So I wish I could say that. I've been Nostradamus. When they first came out with promoted listings, my first take on it was this is a cash grab. Take advantage of it now, but at some point it's just going to be how much money can we pay eBay? And then when the hedge funds came in, I'm like, these people don't care anything about this platform. They are going to milk every bit of money out of it and run it into the ground. And when you add those two together and realize that the hedge fund people realize that they put a mechanism in place to steal money from sellers for giving them the exact same thing without any benefit, it's been a terrible combination.
Those same people are running the show at Whatnot also. The big dogs are involved in Whatnot. That's Y Combinator and Sequoia. Those are like the most ruthless venture capitalists in Silicon Valley. So they've got the same kind of backers as what a eBay
But they don't have
does.
the same control on that platform because other than pushing out your show or whatever, I mean, they don't have the same control over, you know, over the visibility of your items. It's just the visibility of your store is where they.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think eBay just went on this journey where they looked at their own users and they're like, okay, who are our customers? And they quickly realized that the customers are the sellers, not the buyers. And how can we get some more money out of our customer? Because at the time, the customer, who are the resellers, were killing it, making a fortune 2020, 2021, and eBay late to the party. They stuck their bucket in, but now everyone's already hurting. So it was like a double whammy. But, I think everyone who's running a business on eBay, I think everybody would want to see them push their platform out to more users.
No, I agree with that. But I think we have
They got
already, all three of us, we have violated the terms of the NDA that we apparently signed because we're on board with eBay, right? Uh-oh, Josh, I
the
think
aliens got him again.
yeah, I think he's been smoking something right there in that photo. So that's probably a good time to end the live because I think we touched on a lot of things and we made a lot of good points. Hopefully got you guys thinking about this. I don't want you guys to feel turned off on reselling or maybe this is not the way to go because there are examples like myself of people who are making it work full time, not working a 9 to 5. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're using, eBay to supplement your 9 to 5, we all have different paths to making this thing work. But the whole idea of the discussion was to kind of touch base with Josh and Beard and just to get their take on, going full time, being full time. We're all three full time, and to just prove to you guys that it can work, but you got to persevere. You got to be willing to take risks, get out of your comfort zone, and work your tail off. And maybe that's why you left your 9 to 5 to find a job or a business where you don't have to work so hard. But right now, it's not so easy to make sales, and you got to be willing to do those things. So want to thank you guys for being with us here. I know you guys had some questions in the chat. Wasn't really on point with the discussion, but tune in on Friday to the live, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, and I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. So on behalf of Josh and Beard, I want to thank you guys, and we will see you soon.